Hey, Janice,
If you're not early or late.
Sorry, what you say, Michael?
is Kevin going to be able to be on?
Yeah, he's on with me. He's taking me to work.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm about to plug it into the speaker in the car. So
Good stuff. Are you helping learn question mark? All right, guys, we're going to get this party started. Good to see everybody fired up, excited. Make sure you grab a good pen and paper because this is going to be good stuff that's relevant for our onboarding new agents. So I just want to give you guys a shout out as a team because this last month, we had a good month, guys. We have one more pay cycle tomorrow. That's going to wrap up all of July. We should go over 100,000 points in the base shop. So great job, everybody. That means we are about 95,000 points away. Let's just call it 100 from being a million-point base shop, and we have a lot of that business turned in. So I'm fired up and excited for that. Let me text Alon because he needs to be on as well. All right. So good stuff with that, guys. We also had 6 new net licenses. So 6 people made their first $1,000 or more. That's a big deal. Once again, it may not sound like a lot, but it's a lot when someone's just getting started to have that win very, very quickly. So that's really good. We had 17 recruits, and then we had 10 new life licenses. So over 50% of the people coming on board have a license. That's awesome. Once again, good job, everybody. But we need to have an all-out August. And just, someone is asking me about, Michael, how do I lead a team and how do I hit EMD? It's like, these are the things that it takes. This is what it takes. It's like sometimes you have to call an audible, and have this stuff because I want to make sure that we're really getting people onboarded properly. And I'm going to start with onboarding one. So if you guys can take onboarding one, write it down, onboarding one, kind of what it takes. And then I'm going to go through onboarding one with you guys. Okay. But onboarding one, number one is it should be set up within the first 48 to 72 hours. So the first 48 to 72 hours, someone comes on board. We schedule the onboarding one, okay? So sometimes you have to let people know that we can do the evenings, the morning, the weekends, right? But as soon as possible, the first few days is very, very critical. So write this down and underline it, like speed is key. Speed is key in this business. Like imagine if you have food that you come home from the grocery store, you're not going to leave it in the car for the next 4 or 5 hours. Like speed is key or things will go bad. It won't go as well as you want it to. So speed is key, number one. Number two is that always try to have their spouse involved. Have their spouse involved. Now, they might ask, like, why do I have to have my spouse involved? They may or they may not. We want them to, obviously, but they do need to go through 10 field training appointments. So guess what? We can count this as a field training appointment if their spouse is on. So want to make sure that their spouse is there. Once again, I sell it more like this. I'm like, hey, you're probably making money for your family. You probably have goals for your family, dreams for your family, right? Obviously, you're going to be doing this for your family. So obviously, you'd want them to be involved. We don't need your spouse to get a license or to do anything that you're doing. We just want them to know enough about what you're doing so they can be excited and send you referrals along the way, right? And my wife sent me over $100,000 of our income came from referrals this last year. No, true story, right? So we want to make sure that the family knows what they're doing, why they're away, why they're working so hard on the weekends or the evenings, right? So it's always good to have that buy-in and that spousal support. So that's number two. All right. Number three is that you want them to become a client, right? If it's appropriate for them, we need to help them become a client. right? In fact, I don't count the onboarding one as completed until they become a client, right? Now, if they're, let's say they're 90 years old and they are about to die, right? I'm just kidding. That's sad, but that's sad. But anyways, if their health is really, really bad, then it's helping someone else in their family, right? But we want to help at least get some internal consumption. That's something that's, we can help them upgrade a policy. A lot of times we can increase their coverage, lower their costs, add living benefits, or extend their term, right? So when you're helping them become a client, a lot of times people will come and they have a rollover and they want an IUL and they want this and want that. Like, just help them with the easiest thing possible, because all we need to do is get one piece of business turned in. Obviously, the rest will come. Sometimes it's a matter of earning their trust. Sometimes it's a matter of them learning about the products or the process or whatever. But we want to get that low-hanging fruit. So at least getting them a living benefits policy is going to help do that and move them forward and get them excited. By the way, we don't want to have a bunch of agents out there who don't have a policy and then you find out something happened to them, right? That would be like, that's already happened this year a couple times, right? So let's make sure that everybody's getting on board, make them feel good about becoming a client, right? And I'm going to go through the talk track today, but make them feel good about these things, that they're doing something good and positive, helping their family. Hey, I did it. Now you're going to do it, right? I did it. Now you're going to do it. And as the person who recruited them, you should be the one writing up their business, right? Most of the times it's going to be a simple ethos policy. Maybe it's a simple, I also like North American guys for their term. They have great living benefits. Like, if that's a good pivot, right? Maybe it's Emeritus. You don't like Emeritus, go to North American, right? If you don't like ethos, go to Emeritus, like whatever. But the reality is that we have some great resources. We have LGA, we have Corebridge. Those would be my last ones I would do, right? But the first ones I would probably focus on North American. I would focus on Emeritus or Ethos, because the Ethos is instant approval. So something easy, simple, duplicatable. I want you to be thinking about easy, simple, duplicatable. I want to simplify this process so that people on my team can do it. So I want to keep it simple. All right. But onboarding one, guys, it's not complete until they do something. Okay. So I'm selling them the vision on helping their family. And then I'm selling them the vision on, hey, we helped your family, Todd, but guess what? You're going to help your 4 children. You're going to help Maria. And guess what? If you help them with everything that they need, that's probably an extra $1,000 for you. What does that mean? If Todd's licensed coming into this, that means Todd's now a net license, right? Todd's now a net license, or he's helping his team become a net license, right? Or he's becoming net license if it's him. You guys see that? So, like, if I know they have people in their family that need it, and I'm identifying that in this process and helping that person become a client, then I'm helping them sell the vision on them helping their family become clients and becoming a net license. All right. Next, I put, be excited about this. Be excited. Energy, enthusiasm. Light yourself on fire. Be excited. Be excited. Be excited. Right? Most people, they're looking to be led. They're looking for instructions. They're looking for process. They're looking for system. They're looking for that flow. Right? Don't break the flow. Right? Keep that energy high. Be excited about it, but help them, guide them through the process. Next is that, make sure to tell them about that ethos bonus. So if somebody is unlicensed, they can get that ethos bonus, right? We should be selling the heck out of that. Do you guys realize that nobody else in the industry has that? We have that. And that person now has 90 days to become licensed to be able to get that money from their ethos bonus. That's a big deal. That could be thousands and thousands of dollars. So we don't have any reason now that people need to wait. We don't have any reason now that people should be worried about money. Like, we can help them make money right away. And by the way, you're tying them in now to getting the license if they do not have that license. Okay. You're locking them in. They have a bonus waiting for them. That's awesome. And we should be celebrating that. Okay. Last note is that you need to set the onboarding 2 appointment. The onboarding 2 appointment is very critical, because in onboarding 1, we're going through our products, all the great things we do, how we help families, our mission, our crusade, right? Our story of what we're doing. But then in the second onboarding is when we're actually helping them implement that and get in the field. Okay. And so, sorry, there's one last thing that I looked over. In the first meeting, I want you to challenge them to call the top 3, right? Challenge them. Now, if they don't do it, they don't do it. But after you're done with the presentation, what I would say is like, hey, Isaac, isn't this awesome? Isaac, just off the top of your head, who are the 2 or 3 people that might need to know this information that you know? It could be a recruit or a client or both. But Isaac, who are the top 2 or 3 people that need to know this information? Who would be the top 2 or 3 people that you know that want to change their life? And I'm going to ask for their names. Right? I'm going to ask for their names and say, hey, would you be open? Why don't we just give them a call right now? Let's count this towards your field training. We could set that first appointment. Okay. So those are the things I want you guys to focus on. So number 1, first 48 to 72 hours, right? We're scheduling the onboarding 1. Number 2 is that we're getting in front of their spouse. That spouse counts as an appointment, right? So it counts as a field training appointment. That's awesome. We want them bought in and supportive. Number 3, identifying the needs they have as a client, and then identifying their family needs that they have as a client, where they can go and write that business and make that first $1,000. And once again, if it's 3 applications, that's 3 towards their first promotion. Like, this is all like part of the flow, guys. Part of the flow, right? Net license and halfway to their first promotion. Next, call the top 3, right? Call the top 3 with them, right? And we'll go over that together. Next is that ethos bonus. Make sure they know about the ethos bonus. And then lastly is schedule that second onboarding appointment. Any questions so far, guys? Anything you'd want to add, RJ or Isaac?
That's a pretty solid lineup right there.
All right. So those are all like the expectations that you have as a leader, as a trainer, as somebody who's guiding people through the process. Like, those are the things, like, when you're done, right, there should be like a checklist, like check, 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 check. Now, I don't expect anybody here to be perfect. We all know I'm not perfect, right? That's okay. But we should be asking. And what I'm finding is that most of the time we're not asking. So Mark, are you recording right now too? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to hit record. I appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. Awesome stuff. I'm talking really loud because I have like a white noise thing here in my room, and it's to block out how loud I am for everybody else. So if I'm a little bit louder, I apologize. That's okay. We're going to get through this here right now. I'm going to do a lot of talking. I'm actually going to walk you guys through this. So I'm going to present as if I'm presenting, but I'm also going to be walking you guys through it at the same time so we know it. So this first slide is so important, guys, because you need to connect with that person. You may have just brought them on board. You may have recruited them, but do you know their goals and dreams? Do you know what they're excited about? Do you know what's in it for them? And this is the part where I share a little bit about my story, where I'll say, you know, hey, the reason I got started in this business is I watched my father lose his business. I watched my father-in-law lose his retirement. And I realized that I needed to do something to fix it for myself. I needed to do something that could help them, right? I needed to do something where I could help other people in their situation. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. So passion, energy, conviction, right? They need to feel like you're convicted on this and you're all in and you're sold out to doing this. All right. So you're telling your story, but I also want you to be forming them. Learn more about their family. Learn more about their occupation and what they do now. When you're learning about their occupation, you're learning about what kind of hours they're available during the week, right? What kind of hours, nights, weekends, maybe they have a day off. When you're learning more about their family, once again, if they have children, if they have a spouse, right? You're learning more about their situation and the needs that they have as a client, right? What do you do for fun, right? What do you do for fun, right? Maybe we're talking about like, what their goals they have as a family. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe they want to pay for their kids' college or buy their child a new car, like we had to buy our son a car recently. So all of those things, guys, we're using form to just get to know them better and build a relationship. None of this should take more than 5 minutes. You know, a lot of times it looks like I'm moving fast, but it doesn't feel like it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm moving quickly. I'm kind of keeping with the flow, but it doesn't feel like it. They feel good, right? I want them to feel good, like I'm building a relationship. We're in this for the long haul. You can get to the top of this company, right? You can do something big here. You can change your family's life. And I feel like a lot of the time we're talking about recruiting and products and money, but we're not talking about how we're going to change their family's life. Do you guys realize that some people's lives are changed by making a couple extra $1,000 a year? Some people's lives are changed because they made extra $20,000 this year, right? It's not all about being a millionaire for a lot of people. It's about time for their family, maybe setting their family up financially maybe getting in a better spot with their own finances, like whatever that is, right? We want to find that out and start learning more about their whys and what's in it for them and how we can get them to the finish line, right? So once again, my overall feeling that I want you to help people feel when you're a trainer doing these things is making them feel good about why they're here, making them feel good and confident about why you're here and why you're doing this, making them feel good about making the decision to move forward, because we want as many people to win here as possible, right? And we need to make sure that this timing is everything in terms of how fast we set this up. All right. So once someone gets started, this is the process. Once again, a lot of people that come on board, they feel like, and they're like, man, I'm all over the place. Like, what do I do next? It's not that we don't have a process. It's that maybe you're not communicating that process to them, right? Or maybe they feel overwhelmed because it's new, whatever it is, right? Congratulations. Guess what, Suzanne? You completed step 1, right? Ha ha ha. Great. Congratulations. You have your code number. Your code number is going to track all of your business and your team and everything that you do. It also has the ability to have ownership and value. So we want to build as much value in your code as possible. All right. Number 2 is today we're going to talk about how we help families. We're going to take you through that digital client experience, because guess what? We want to make sure your family's protected, make sure all your children are taken care of. But guess what, Suzanne? I also want you to feel good about introducing this to everybody in your family. By the way, I'm oldest of 7 children. All my nieces and nephews, all 14 of them, all my siblings, all my in-laws, they all have a product with us. Why? Because we have the best products out there. So when we're done with this, Suzanne, I want you to be proud of what we're offering to families. I want you to be confident that we can do the right thing for people. I want you to be excited to talk to as many people that you can in your market. Suzanne, so if you don't mind, do me a favor. As we go through these exercises together, start writing down names of people that you think would need our help. I don't want you to think of anything else. Just write down their first name, and we can come back to that later. Sound good? Awesome. Thank you. Well, Suzanne, I also want to get you promoted, right? I want to make sure you get promoted as fast as possible, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Part of getting promoted is building a team, right? We're here to build a team so we can have financial freedom, but it's also so we can expand our markets and help more families. So part of it is helping families. Part of it is building a team. And we're going to talk about what it takes to get the promotion done. Most people are getting that promotion in the first 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, the first 30 days, right? Most people are getting it done in the first 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, the next 30 days. But I've even had people complete all of it in one weekend. So if you have a weekend where we can set up a bunch of appointments and help a bunch of people, right? We can get it done in an afternoon. Isn't that exciting, right? We can do a lot right now with your time, leveraging the trainers, leveraging us. Next, if you're not licensed, we need to get you licensed and contracted. Good news, you're licensed already, Suzanne. Make sure you're meeting with our contracting department to wrap that up, because we want to get you paid. It does take about a week or 2 to get some of these contracts set up. The good news is that if we help any families in the next 2 weeks, we're going to help them in our initial first appointment, but typically we don't help do any policies until our second appointment. So what I'm going to do, Suzanne, as we help you get started, is tee up a bunch of business for you. So by the time all of your licenses are ready to go, or all of your contracting with our appointments are ready to go, that you're able to get paid on every single person you introduce us to. Does that sound good? Awesome. Good. Fired up for that, right? I want to help you get paid. And step 5 is making your first $1,000. Now, guess what? The $1,000 is going to cover all of your expenses for GFI, just about all of them, for the first year. So that's super important. Think about it. When you make that first $1,000, after that, you're cash flow positive for the year, for the startup costs of getting your license and everything else. We want you to do that. We actually had a person on our team. His name is Ken. He made $144,000 in his first paycheck. Isn't that awesome? Like $144,000, right? We helped another person make $122,000 in their first paycheck. One client, right? True story, right? Recently, we've helped people make $7,000, $5,000, $3,000 in their first check. But minimally, we could probably at least help you make $1,000. Does that sound good? Right? But we're going to shoot for the moon, right? We're going to shoot for helping you make as much as you can by helping families out there. Any questions so far? All right, good stuff. All right, so a little bit about our company is that we're brokers. You know, a lot of companies I know that people work for, they're captive, you know, so you came from a company that was captive. They were very limited on what they could offer, or they only offered final expense, or they only offered mortgage protection. Guess what? We can help someone with almost their entire financial picture. And we're also brokers. So a lot of companies out there, they're pushing one company and one product because that's what one that pays them the most, right? We actually can be brokers, and we can actually do the right thing for our clients because we get paid from all of these companies, right? The same way, right? So we want to make sure that we're helping you, your family in the right position possible, and you're helping put families in the right position possible with the right companies the first time. You know, we have over a 90+% retention rate on our clients because we believe in the mission before the commission, always doing right for the client and helping them get in the best spot possible. We want you to have a client for life. Why? Because this is how we get referrals. We can build our whole business on referrals by doing the right thing for those clients, no matter what. We also use technology. Have you ever heard of Ethos before? Yes, no, right? Great. Well, Ethos is our technology company, and we can actually get people approved in 15 minutes, right? We actually have a bonus with Ethos, right? We're in the first helping families. Even if you don't have a license, they will hold a bonus for you for up to 90 days. So once you do pass your test and once you do get your license, guess what? You can get paid immediately, right? So we can help people right away, which is awesome. And we're the only company in the industry doing that right now. No one else has that available except for us. Super excited that we can go out and help families right away and get them instantly approved, which is even better. All right. So what we do is we have a couple ways of teaching people about our concepts. Okay. And one of those ways we teach people is called the financial house. Have you ever seen this concept before? No, you haven't? Okay. Well, just like any home out there, the foundation of your home is that income protection. So in short, what we do to help families is we help them have income if they live too long, if they die too soon, or if they get sick in the middle. And all three of those ways are represented here in this financial house. That what happens if somebody can't physically work? What if they get sick? What if something happens like cancer, heart attack, stroke? Have you ever seen that happen to a family? You have? Yeah, great. So what typically happens? They're financially devastated. So we want to help people have the right foundation so that they can have income and dignity to get through all of these storms, no matter what those are. We can help people with their debt management and help them show how they can save 7 to 10 years off paying out that debt, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in money that they can redirect, right? Because they're not paying all of that interest, right? We help people set up emergency funds where they can have 3 to 6 months saved just in case. We know it's not a matter of if there's emergency, it's a matter of when, right? So we can help people have that extra savings. Essentially, we help people plan their retirement. You know, we want them to have a retirement that can last the rest of their life. You want to know the number one thing that people are worried about right now? Number one issue for every retiree is that I'm worried that my money won't last the rest of my life, right? Things are costing more. There's inflation. Healthcare costs are going through the roof. Just basic housing costs and groceries are going up. So we need to make sure that people have the right retirement set in place so they get guaranteed income. We also want to be able to protect your children, right? We have this thing called $1 million baby, where you can actually help your child be financially free later on in life, right? Pretty amazing stuff. This is the type of thing the wealthy people do for their family that we're sharing with you because everybody has access to this. And then lastly is estate planning. You know, we have some incredible companies we partnered with that offer a free will and trust, a living will and trust, which is awesome. We actually have another more boutique service to help people with their estate planning as well. So depending on your needs and what's best for you, we can cover all areas of this financial house for you. But let me ask you a question. If the foundation isn't laid properly, what happens to the financial house? It falls apart, right? It falls apart. So I want to make sure that I'm going to go over some of those things that we do, because when we're done with this, I want you to be so impressed. I want you to be excited to talk to everybody. And I want you to be able to start thinking about all the people in your life that you know and love that could need our help, right? So can we agree, Todd, that the way things are going out there isn't working?
Yes, we can agree.
It's not working. Why? Because if it was working, most people in their 60s, they would have more money saved for retirement. Okay. So how long would that last in Lansing, Michigan? How long would $182,000 a year last?
Maybe 2 years.
maybe 2 years. So obviously that's a big problem. Okay. Secondly, is that 4 out of 10 divorces are due to financial problems. Just think about it, Todd. You could save people's marriages because you have a life insurance license. Isn't that crazy?
That's
Like
great.
you could literally save a whole family with this license that you have, right? Because you're setting people up properly to save for their future, or maybe even to make more money. 6 out of 10 people need some sort of have some sort of issue with chronic or critical illnesses. So let me ask you a question, Mark. If you were going to Las Vegas right now, and I'm not a gambling man, right? But if you were to gamble and know that you had a 6 out of 10 chance of winning, would you gamble? Probably, right?
Well, I probably have to do a little bit of that, yes.
I mean, that's a pretty good odd, right? Well, unfortunately, that's the odds that people have for having some sort of chronic or critical illness between now and retirement. So I'm 46. If I retire at 66, I have 20 years to protect my life, and I have to protect my health. Does that make sense? So we need to make sure there's income coming in no matter what happens, and that also people have the resources so they can get the best care possible. But most people are check to check. They don't have a financial plan, and they're not on track to retire. So I know when I started, Mark, I felt very insecure when I started because I was brand new and I knew we did good things, but I didn't really know about how it all worked. But guess what? We're going to help you learn that because we're going to go through 10 field training appointments. Now, on these field training appointments, we're not selling a product and we're not recruiting anybody. We are literally just sharing the good news with everybody you know so that you can help them if they need help, or they can send you referrals. But guess what happens? If I showed these things to 10 people that we could help in all of these areas, how many out of those 10 do you think would want some help? Probably most of them,
10.
right? 10, right? 10, because most people don't have these things set up. So our job is to get the good news out there. Now let me share, Mark, an alternative, okay? Because we help people in the warm market, friends and family, right? We've been doing that. We've helped over 34,000 families in our career by doing this and getting referrals and doing the right thing, right? But there's 2 tracks at this point. Number one is you can help friends and family, or you can invest in leads. Okay, so if you have $500 to $1,000 a week, you can invest in leads and we can get you in front of people who need our products, right? Or we can start and help you in your warm market. We can have a qualified trainer help you do this presentation and share this information. And by the way, I guarantee everybody you put this in front of is going to be impressed. I guarantee they're going to know people that need help, and they're going to want some help themselves. So we can agree the way things are going isn't working. That's why we're here. So first thing we're going to talk about is the 401k plan. Now, if you're like me, Annalise, what happened when you got that good job, right? You signed up for all the benefits, you checked all the boxes. Here's the reality is that most people check the box and they never look at it again. And they hope and pray one day they can retire. But isn't it wild and crazy that if you look at the bottom left, right? Ted Benna, the father of the 401k, said, my creation is a monster, right? If the 401k plan was the best plan out there, how come more people aren't able to comfortably retire? Okay, so yes, it's not a bad way, but it's not working because most people aren't getting educated on it at all, and they have no idea how it even works and how it's going to get them to retirement. So that's why we're here. So we're going to talk about how we help people with retirement, and it's called a fixed indexed annuity. Have you ever heard of that before? No? Okay, I had neither, right? I had just heard about a 401k, but a fixed index annuity is a way where we can help people and we can help them roll their money over. So a little bit about how the 401k plan works. Have you ever heard of the 59.5 rule, Bambi? You have, okay. So if you're under 59.5, if you were to pull money out of your retirement, there's a 10% penalty. You get taxed at a federal level and at a state level. So this could be 20, 30, 40, 50% gone because you needed to cash into 401k for emergencies, to start a business, to send kids to college, to buy a home. So most people don't even know about this, but they're signing up for it. And then they learn the rules after the fact, right? Well, what happens in retirement? Okay, do you think taxes in the future are going to go down, stay the same, or go up? Probably go up. If I could have one person just at least responding out loud, that'd be great, right? So at least go up. right? They're probably going to go up. So does it really make sense, Todd, to save money in a place where we're going to be paying an undetermined amount in taxes in the future?
Not really.
Probably not, right? So what happens if you turn age 72? Well, there's another rule called required minimum distribution. So imagine you save your entire life, you have all this money saved for retirement, and now you want to keep it growing because you don't need it right away, right? Maybe you need to work longer. Maybe you don't need to touch it right away. Well, the government wants their money. So it's called a required minimum distribution. So if you don't start taking at least the required amount that they want you to take out so they can tax it, they're going to give you a 50% penalty. And on top of that, they're going to tax you.
Dang.
Does that sound fair?
No.
So does this look like the best savings plan for America today?
No.
Probably not, right? Probably not. But most people, would you agree, most people are signing up for this and they don't know the rules?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? So what we do is we help people take out take out some of the risk out of their retirement, because a lot of people, they know they need to save and they want to be able to grow their money, but they keep seeing their account balances go down, right? Or they're not seeing it grow the way they need to. So what we do is we help people get a grip on their retirement, right? We're going to help you get a grip. So any money that's in variable products or maybe fixed products, we can roll that over. There's no taxes and there's no penalty to do that. So what we do is we help people get guarantees on their money. All right. Right now they have no guarantees in a variable product, right? They could lose, right? In this, we give them guarantees that they're never, ever going to lose because we use that index strategy. Secondly, is they're going to get a rate of return. Now, some of our providers offer a guaranteed rate of return, even up to 10%, meaning that if the market tanks or goes down, or maybe it's flat, they're still getting a guaranteed rate on their money. Okay, they get that index growth where they're growing off of the growth, right? They're never going backwards. Now, the whole reason people do this is because they're looking for the outcome. What's the outcome? It's income, right? There's a goal, right? We want to get income, and they can get a pension-like income guaranteed for the rest of their life as long as they live. Guess what? In some cases, Todd, that income might even grow in retirement.
Wow.
Imagine that. You can actually grow their income while they're taking it out. That's pretty amazing. And then some of our companies have a bonus. I know we have companies with a 14% bonus, 21% bonus, 25, even up to 45% bonus.
Jeez.
Pretty amazing. So we have some incredible incentives that people can have where they can take that money and they can compound it and grow it so that when they get to retirement, they can have enough income to live on the rest of their life. So here's a quick example. This is a person who's 45 years old. Okay. They have $150,000 from their old 401k plan. And they want to roll it over and they want to get some growth on it, but they also want to get some guarantees. So in this specific example, they have no losses. So they're guaranteed they never, ever lose, right? Pretty crazy. Number two is there's no fees. Now, some providers have fees and some don't. In this example, there are no fees, right? So that means there's no extra money that's being eroded away out of your balance, right? You get to keep all of your growth in your earnings. You have index accumulation where you're getting the growth on the growth, and you have multiple indexes to choose from. So what we do is every year we're reviewing with our clients what indexes are working. We make sure they're in the right place. Almost think of it like this, Todd. It's like having a mutual fund with a floor. You get the upside of the market, but you're protected on the downside risk, right? In this case, you can double your money in almost 20 years. But look at this, in 10 years, your $150,000 would be over $322,000, right? So you already have a double in 10 years. And then at retirement, look at that, another double, right? $735,000. Okay. Now, Todd, that might not be enough, but it's probably a good start, right?
Yeah, it's a good start for sure.
Right? So, and then we also have the ability to do a Roth conversion, right? And in some cases, you can have access to your money after year one, right? Especially when you're getting into retirement. Some people might need access to money for buying a car or emergencies. We can show them how to do that. So pretty awesome stuff that we can do that, Todd. But imagine every client you put in front of us that has an old retirement account that's right in your age range, right? Guess what? We can help them, show them a clear path on how they can grow their money to the retirement that they actually need without having any of the downside risk. Pretty amazing stuff. So I have another example. This one's actually live. This one's actually somebody who's 55 years old. I actually just helped them about a week ago, and they had $250,000. They're 55. And let me ask you a question once again. How long would $250,000 last in retirement?
Oh man, at that point, maybe 3 or 4 years, not very long.
Not long. So they rolled their money over. And in this case, because they can wait 10 years, they actually got a 45% bonus.
Wow.
45% bonus with no fees. So if you look at here, after their first year, that 250,000 with a little bit of growth is actually $367,809. Wow. Not bad for the first year, right? Not bad. Now, as their account value is growing, right, their income that they can take later on is growing. So by the time they turn 65, it's projected that they could start taking income of about $60,000 a year. But guess what? As you look down that graph, their income can increase, right? Their income has the ability to grow in retirement. Okay, so they're guaranteed income for life. They get index gains without any losses, right? They can increase their income in retirement, but even better, what if they need something like long-term care, Todd? Okay, so look at the year, it says 130,260. So if they can't do 2 out of 6 activities like bathing, dressing, getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, feeding yourself, the same triggers for traditional long-term care, they could double that income from 130,000 to 260,000.
Wow.
Wow, right? Pretty amazing, right? That's awesome. It's like giving them a Swiss Army knife, right? There's no fees, and we can even help them with Roth conversions if that's something that they want as well. But if you look at the bottom here, right, they're 55, they roll over $250,000 without any taxes or penalties, and they'll have the potential to receive $4.536 million just from age 65 to age 85, not including any other years after that they're still alive, because they're still going to be getting guaranteed income for the rest of their life. So Todd, once again, if I showed this to 10 people that were getting close to retirement, how many would want to know more?
10.
All 10, right? Like, dude, can you think about it? So do me a favor, write down a couple names of people that might be close to retirement, because guess what? Don't you agree they should know about this?
Yeah.
Todd, we work with A+ carriers. We're working with the best of the best out there. So, we're going to help people with the best of the products and services that we have. So pretty amazing stuff that we can help people with the retirement, get those guarantees, get those bonuses, have that doubler, everything involved. So now I'm going to talk a little bit, Todd, about final expense. Now, this is a market that's expected to double in the next 6 years. Why? Because there's so many people that are now getting into retirement. They lost their job, their insurance policy lapsed, something happened, maybe they missed the payment, but now they don't have any coverage, and they want to make sure that they're not a burden on their family. Okay, so this is very simple. We have about a dozen providers, and we can set them up with a policy that will make sure to pay for those final expenses, those final wishes, that burial, so they're not a burden on their family, making sure they can have a little bit of money to make sure to relieve some of that pain if they're not around anymore. Okay, so this is an awesome thing. We help people have dignity, right? And we can help them with something that's affordable in their budget, right? To make sure they can pay out some of those final expenses for their family. Okay, all right. Next, we have a thing called life insurance with living benefits. Todd, have you ever heard of living benefits before?
Like short-term disability?
Kind of, right? This is actually something you can get on your life insurance policy.
Oh.
So the old-fashioned industry, the old-fashioned term policies only pay out when you die. The ones that you got at your job, right? Most people have maybe something to their job. They probably don't even have enough, but it only pays out when you die, or maybe if you get in an accident. Okay, these policies actually pay out when you're alive. These are the more modern versions, and it's incredible stuff. So let me share a little bit about that. So Todd, if you have any friends that you can think of that are like in their 30s, like you are with kids, everybody needs one of these. In fact, this is something that we should look at implementing for your family as well, because most people have never heard of this. And this will help them. Remember, if I'm 45 and I want to retire at 65, I have 20 years to protect my life and my health. Okay, so we need to make sure that we can get people to the finish line. This is the foundation of that financial house. So imagine you had a policy, Todd, that covers everything you see on the screen.
Hmm.
Cancer, stroke, heart attack, blindness, paralysis, organ transplant, kidney failure, maybe a chronic illness from a bad accident, right? Maybe somebody's terminally ill. So imagine having a term policy for the same price that you have now, but added all these benefits, right? We're changing people's lives with these things. This is actually a real life check, Todd. We had a business partner of ours, Scott. He got a policy with us, and he was like, Michael, I'm on a budget right now. I can do $1 million, but I need the cheapest one possible. We got him approved. It was right around $100 a month. About 9 months later, he had a heart attack. And thank God he had this policy, because they paid out a check to him and his family for $353,000 tax-free. Isn't that life-changing?
Yeah, big time.
Todd, you thought you were just selling life insurance here, right? Isn't this like 10 times better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the secret. Most people aren't talking about this. They don't know about it. They don't offer it at your jobs, right? They have old-fashioned policies from companies like Primerica and Northwestern Mutual and New York Life and State Farm that don't have these benefits. So we can go and upgrade them, right? And we can help better their situation. Most cases, Todd, we can increase someone's coverage, lower their cost, add living benefits, or extend their term. So we can increase their coverage, lower their cost, add living benefits, or even extend their term. So this is actually a big part of our business, because unfortunately, most people aren't getting the right advice, or they don't know how to shop or how to purchase insurance because they don't know what to even look for, right? They're just looking for the cheapest thing, which isn't a bad thing, right? We're just helping them get the most benefits from a plan that they can need. So once again, they can make sure that they can raise their family and they can go into retirement protecting their life and their health. Isn't that life-changing stuff, Todd?
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, I know you mentioned you have 4 kids, man. Like everybody, have you ever had anybody that you know have had that like cancer or stroke or heart attack and anything like that?
Yeah, my older brother.
Your older brother, he had cancer?
Yeah, he had Hodgkin's. So he's diagnosed in his mid to late 40s.
Okay.
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow. So he could have really benefited from having something like this. I'm sure that was a lot of financial stress and stress on his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, Todd, like think about, I know we can't go back in the past, but think about all the people you're going to be helping in the future on that.
Right.
Like they're going to be thanking you because you had that conversation with them. Right. Todd, do you have anything like this set up for your family?
Things. I mean, I have some insurance through work. I think I have like an old policy. I have some like disability, but I don't think I have like living benefits. I don't think.
Okay. How much do you have at work right now? Do you know?
I think it's like 50 grand.
50 grand. Okay. So if you weren't around tomorrow, Todd, with Maria, the 4 kids, like how long would 50 grand last?
Oh man, not even a year.
Okay. So do you think that's enough?
No.
Okay. So it's probably something that you've been wanting to do. You just haven't had the time to do it yet, or you haven't known where to go to do it. Is that right?
Yeah. It's one of those like it's on the to-do list. That'd be good to look into. We kind of never do, and then we were just tight on the budget.
Okay. So if we can find something that fits in your budget and then gets you the coverage that's appropriate for you, would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's something I'm going to table, Todd, for the moment. But what we're going to do is just make sure that we have the best possible for you. Because what's going to happen is that, because I brought you on board, I'm going to help take care of you and, with your tiny little policy you're going to get, right? Which is going to have a huge impact. But then we're going to set it up so you're licensed so you can help Maria and all the kids with something for themselves. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think, essentially between helping the kids and Maria, you should probably make at least $1,000. So I'm going to help set that up so you can help make sure that they're taken care of. And then I'm going to make sure we help take care of you. All right. So good stuff. All right. So we have this thing called Indexed Universal Life. Have you ever heard the concept, Todd, of becoming your own bank or family banking?
No.
Okay. So this is all over the internet now, right? Everybody, it's really popular. This has actually been around since 1913. So before the stock market was something that everybody could invest in, before 401ks and all these other things, right? People would save money in life insurance. And so this has been tried and true, and it's what the wealthy have been doing for the last 100+ years. So we teach regular people what the wealthy people are doing. Okay. So when it comes to these IULs, right, we teach people how money grows, right? It can grow fixed, variable, or indexed. Okay. So a lot of people have variable or fixed, but not a lot of people have heard of indexed. So index is like having the best of fixed and variable, right? Like it's like they had a baby, right? Boom. So you get the upside potential without the downside risk. You have companies, you have like the S&P 500, you've heard of that, right? Like you have BlackRock, Fidelity, Bank of America, all these major companies are using these index strategies now. And so we're just teaching clients how to use them for themselves. Okay. And then the last thing about Index Universal Life is that it's all tax-free. So most people are saving that tax later category, like we were talking about earlier, where all of that money, when they save for retirement, they're going to be taxed on it. So what if we get paid the taxes today and then grow it tax-free and take it all out tax-free? Okay, so you're able to do that with these policies. We have clients that save $100 for their newborn children. We have clients that save $1 million a year into these policies. They're that good. They actually call this the rich man's Roth, right? Because wealthy people have been using this for a long time, and we're educating middle-class families how they can use it for themselves. All right. So when it comes to building wealth, and you look at all the different categories that are out there, right? I'm not going to go through every single one, but guess what? This tax-free Index Universal Life, that covers all the categories. It's tax-free, right? There's growth potential, no risk of losing. You protect your life, your health, and your money. You have some liquidity. You have legacy. You avoid probate. You have those living benefits. So once again, think about this as a Swiss Army knife. That you have all these benefits you can use for your family. And cool thing, Todd, we actually have a software that shows side by side, right? Clients saving into their 401k versus in this IUL, right? So we can actually show clients side by side, taxes, fees, how long they're going to live, income, all of those things, right? And when most people see that in real time, they all want to start a plan for themselves. Okay, I actually own 12 of these plans myself, right? We're saving well over $150,000 a year into these plans personally. Why? Because of all the benefits, right? And because they work so well, I kept getting new ones, right? So this may be a fit for you and your family or other people that you know. So just to give you a little example, this is an example of someone who's 35 years old and they're saving $500 a month. So what we're doing, Todd, is most times when we're sitting down with a family, we're not saying, hey, Todd, save more money that you might not have, right? Because that's kind of hard to do, right, Todd, with 4 kids?
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we look at the whole picture, and in most cases, we're just reallocating funds that you're already saving, right?
Okay.
You might be overfunding your 401k plan. You might not have a match for your 401k. You might have money you're saving in a special savings account. Well, we can reallocate that into a place where you can grow money tax-free for an income stream later on. So in this example, this person's saving $500 a month from age 35 to 68. Okay. So by the time they turn 68 years old, they're able to take out just under $60,000 a year tax-free.
Wow.
Okay. So think about it. You save over all of those years, right? 10, how many years is that, right? 33 years. 33 years, you save $198,000. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not because it's over 33 years, right? So you've saved, this is assuming you're not saving anymore, okay? Well, by the time you're 68, you're going to be getting an income stream of $59,000 tax-free all the way through the rest of your life up till age 120. So even if you took the income till age 100, you put in 198 and you're taking out almost $1.9 million tax-free. Todd, if you gave me $198,000, I give you back $1.9 million tax-free. Is that a good deal?
It's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal, right? Tax-free, by the way, right? And by age 100, there's still a death benefit of $476,000. So you can still leave a legacy for the great grandkids, right? Your total benefit by age 100 with the income and the death benefit is $2.372 million.
Wow.
So this is assuming you're growing at 6.62%. If it grows at 7 or 8 or 9, these numbers get way bigger. But the good news is, Todd, we can be conservative with our approach and our projections, and we can underpromise and overdeliver. So if this is a little bit better, man, these numbers get way bigger, right? That's what I love about what we do, is that we don't have to say things that aren't true, right? We can be conservative with our projections, and these things can still work for our clients. Pretty awesome stuff, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Todd, think about it. Let's say in 10 years, you need to borrow money for college. Okay. Well, 10 years later, you'll have over $62,000 that you can borrow to help fund college for your kids, right? Maybe buy a new car, maybe do some home repairs, right? Things like that. You still have some access to this money without all the taxes and penalties like you would have in a 401k plan. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tax-free. Todd, do you think a lot of your friends want to have their money taxable or have their money tax-free?
Tax-free.
Yeah, everybody does. Dude, are you kidding me? Like, win so far, right? Everybody wants to know about these things that we're doing, right? So that's what we're sharing with people, the tax-free. By the way, Todd, let me tell you something. If they don't do something with you like this, it's okay. Our job is just to get the message out there, to get the word out there, because most people will want to do something and some people won't. But guess what? Now that you have the word out there and they've seen what you're doing, they'll be excited because they'll know you're the go-to guy and that you have good people like myself and trainers that are backing you up to make sure we're doing the right thing for the client.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that awesome? Like, you're going to hit a home run on this field training, man. I'm excited about that. All right. Lastly, think about that same concept, Todd, but now let's apply that to your kids. Okay. So once again, you could save in a brokerage account. You could save in a 529 plan, but this $1 million baby, once again, has all of those benefits that we were talking about, right? So obviously having more benefits is a good thing, right? And more flexibility and more ways that you can use this. So we have a little example here of someone saving $150 a month for a 1-year-old. Okay. By the time the child is 18, they'll have over almost $49,000 of cash in the policy. Guess what? Not a bad start for school, right? Or maybe whatever they might need for education, or maybe buying a car. They wait a couple more years at age 25. Now they have over $92,000. And as you can see, that death benefit's growing, right? Because it's growing with all that money growing in that account. By the time they're 35 years old, they'll have over $203,000 of cash in that account. By the time they're 65, this is why we call it $1 million baby, $1.667 million.
Wow.
Don't you wish your parents did this for you? Right?
A little bit,
A little bit, right? So we can set these up so they can be affordable. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, right? But just a little bit of savings can go a long way with all that time and compounding interest. And in this example, that $117,000 is going to be over $4 million of income till age 90. And guess what? If they live longer than 90, it's probably still going to be there too. Pretty amazing stuff. Think about it, Todd. Not only can you change your family's life, right? But you can change a lot of other people's lives. Can you imagine your children being financially free because you set them up today with just a little bit of savings?
That's crazy.
Right. And by the way, Todd, these plans for children still have those living benefits.
Oh.
So if anything happens to your children, God forbid, I've been in this industry for a long time, you just see everything, man. And I would never want someone to be in a situation where they couldn't take care of their children the way they want to. And these types of plans help them do that.
Right.
Man, this is awesome, right? So I have a couple questions, Todd, because obviously we're showing you what we have to offer. Before I get into this, though, like, out of the things we talked about today, what's been your favorite part so far?
I mean, I really like the IUL thing. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Do you have anything like that set up right now?
No. Just like we have our emergency fund. We have like our savings that we just, we feed. We have my 401k at work.
Okay. Do you know how much you have in that 401k at work right now? Just curious.
Probably like 100,000.
100,000. Okay.
Maybe a little more.
Good job. You've been saving. That's good, man.
Yeah.
How's that? Do you feel like that's enough?
No, I mean, not right now. No.
Not now. Well, hey, guess what? Maybe you can do better with something that we have. I don't know. I don't even know yet. But the good news is that we can help you save more money for the future, right?
Right.
Anything else that you like? Anything else that was your favorite part?
I mean, I like it. I like it for the kids too. I mean, the living benefits thing is, I mean, that's a huge thing for the family, I think.
Now, does your wife Maria, does she work or does she stay home with the kids?
She works part-time. She's a nurse.
Okay. Does she have a living benefits plan set up?
She has, I don't think she has anything through work because she's part-time, but I think we do have a policy for her. I don't know if it has living benefits though.
Okay. So Todd, I ran you a quote for like $1 million. It's
Mhm.
like $83 a month. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Superman, how healthy are you?
7.
7? Okay. What's the reason why you're a 7 and maybe not an 8, 9, or 10?
I got sick with Lyme disease about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good.
Okay. So if you could protect your family and have it at like $1 million of coverage
Yeah.
and it's around $80 a month, would that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to talk to Maria about it, but yeah.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. We're not going to do anything without her involved. And then obviously, if there's plans that work for her and the kids, I want to help you be the person to set that up for them once you've learned about how it all works.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Todd, don't move ahead with anything until you understand how it works and how it's going to better your situation. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. So a couple things that I'm going to ask, just because maybe you haven't thought about it, but these are the types of questions, Todd, that we're asking our clients. Have you ever thought about what age you want to retire?
I mean, 65.
65? You know, most people say that. Why do you say 65?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's when everyone retires, right? So,
Right. Hopefully. Well, the good news is, Todd, that we are going to help more people retire before 65 or at 65. But the reality is that most people, it's probably going to be 70 or 72. Okay. So we want to make sure you have the income to replace in retirement. Do you know how much money you'd like to have saved when you retire?
well, I would have said 1 million
Okay.
earlier to this call, but I guess a couple million now.
Couple million. So in your present situation, is there a way for you to make more money to save more so you can get to that million or 2 million or more?
Well, that's what I was trying to do here because Mark brought me on. So,
Okay.
but
Good. So if we can, so Todd, what do we have to make on an annual basis to replace your current income?
about 80,000.
80,000. Okay. All right. Good. So keep your job. Don't quit your job, right? I know you're going to get super excited. You're going to want to quit your job and fire your boss. Don't do any of that. All right. Just hang tight. But what we can do, Todd, is we can put together a plan to show you how to replace that income or even save money or pay off some debts so that when you're ready to go full time, right, you can have some clarity, confidence, and you'll know what to do, right? We don't want you to do that before you're ready, right? But how much monthly income do you think you'd want to live on for the rest of your life when you and Maria retire?
I mean, shoot, if we had 20 grand, that would be great. 10 grand would be all right.
Okay. 10 to 20,000 a month. Okay. So obviously we're going to need to save more than 100,000 to get there, right?
Right. Yeah.
Extra income. Okay. Outside of this business, is there anything that you and Maria are doing to generate other income that you can save for the future?
I mean, she'll pick up shifts sometimes on the weekends or, work shift differential. She'll get time and a half. So we try to do that, but on my side, not, I mean, no, it's salary, right? So it is what it is.
So there's no way for you to make more to save more at this point without doing something different like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to make more money to get to those goals you have for retirement?
I mean, it's pretty important. So
Okay. Probably like an 8 or 9, right?
yeah.
9 to 10. Okay. So tell me about what are some of the goals and dreams that you and Maria have in retirement?
I mean, we'd probably like to live somewhere where it's nice. We live in Michigan. It gets cold, man. And then we're kind of just homebodies in a good way. We'd like to be able to hang out with the kids. We like to travel. That would be great to be able to take, 1 or 2 trips a year. And just be able to, go out to eat, kind of do what we want when we want type of deal. Nothing nothing crazy. Have a
Okay.
nice, we've always talked about having, if we do stay in Michigan, having a lake house
Okay.
somewhere in Michigan, some place where the family could come and kind of congregate together, you know?
I love it. Now, if you could do some of those things sooner than retirement, would you be open to that?
Yeah, of course.
Good, good, good. Because that's the goal here is that we can help you get to some of those things sooner and get to that financial freedom mark a little bit sooner than maybe you thought. I'll tell you, Todd, it's going to be some work. I mean, the dream is real. The hustle sold separately. So the good news is we have a great team of people to help you, support you, and guide you, and coach you, and mentor you to do that. And then as long as you meet us halfway, we can take you to the top, right? But you're going to need to meet us halfway. So obviously, if I can help you do all of these things, you'd want to do it. So coming up on how we estimate insurance. Now, I know I kind of spitballed, Todd, that you need $1 million in coverage, right? Most people in America, if you can fog a mirror, you need $1 million, right? Because it's not just paying off the house, it's replacing at least 10 years of income, paying for kids' education, paying off debt, et cetera. There's a lot of things that could happen. If you added up these things here, if you take all of your debt, your income times 10, you add the mortgage, and then maybe educating the kids or having something for them to start their life, how much do you think you would need?
Um,
Do you have any debt?
just our home,
Just your home? Okay. How much do you own the home?
like 125.
125. Oh, that's good, man. Okay, good. And you said you make about 80. How much does Maria make? About
Uh, 25.
25?
Good
Okay.
time.
And then if you were to set something up for the kids, how much would you want to have set aside for them if you weren't around, or maybe how much would you want to have for college?
Yeah. I don't know if we've talked about that. I mean, I have 3 girls, so I definitely like to, be able to pay for their weddings. That's kind of
Yeah,
a big thing for
sure.
us. It's not college, but that's kind of caring for them. We'd like to be able to contribute some for school, maybe not all of it, kind of the mind of like be able to do it on their own, but at least, maybe half.
Okay. Would you have a number that might take care of those things?
Yeah. Let's see. A year of college is what, 60,000 times 4. How much are weddings going for nowadays?
I don't know. I'm guessing a lot. I've been married 22 years.
Say,
I don't know.
we'll say add a 40, 50, 60, 70. Patrick's a boy. He can do it on his own. Just kidding. So maybe like 280 would cover all that. That's 10 grand for a wedding. Hopefully they don't have that crazy of a wedding.
Okay. That might be a little conservative, but that's a good number. All right. So 280 plus the 125. So let's call that 400,000 plus your 800,000 for replacing your income 80 times 10, right? That's 1.2 million.
Yeah.
So Todd, I'm not here to sell you a bunch of life insurance. I want to find out what's going to be the best for you that fits in your budget for as long as we can get for the most amount of coverage we can get.
Right.
All right. That's going to depend on your health. It's going to depend on how, your driving record, your medical history, and your health. So we're going to look into that for you. But you could agree that, $1 million would probably help, but we'll find something that fits in your budget. Okay.
Right.
All right. Sound good. And then you mentioned you have about 100,000 in your 401k. Does Maria have any type of those accounts set up for herself for retirement?
Mm-mm. No, it's just mine.
Okay. Have you started any college savings plans for the kids yet? It doesn't sound like you have, but do you have anything set aside for them?
No, I mean, we've just been kind of socking away into our savings account for them here and there as we can, but nothing
Okay.
like formal.
Oh, so you are mindfully saving for them. Just
Yeah, like there's nothing set, right? But when we have extra money, we're just kind of kicking into that pot for them.
got it. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Well, Todd, we're gonna get back to that. I'm gonna give you some ideas. Once again, I want you to feel good about it. I want you to understand how it's going to benefit for your family. And by the way, Todd, if you never ever move forward in this business, but we help protect your family and put you in a better spot, would it be worth just taking this time and energy to do this?
It would.
Because now you're protected, you're in a better spot. We can leave you in a better spot from where you found me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Hey, I hope you take this to the moon and we go travel the world together, right? But I know things happen in life. We want to help you as far as we can. So let me kind of tell you, Todd, the number one thing that gets people out of the business, right? The number one thing they do that can can hijack their business. It's called the scenario of disaster. Sounds a little crazy, but what happens is that you're brand new, you're excited, you start talking to people, they ask questions, you answer wrong, they jump to conclusions, and then they say no. Okay, I've been in this business 15 years, I have thousands of people. Would you agree, Todd, that after our presentation today, that I could help you put your best foot forward?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel after going through all that information today? Don't forget about all the details, but how did you feel about it and what we can do here?
I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, right?
Sure, yeah.
Helping people with the most important things of their life, protecting their money, guaranteeing their income. So I want to help you put your best foot forward. So I want you to just take a pause on talking to everybody just right now. I don't want you to talk to them yet, because I want to coach you on the right words to say so you can say them. By the way, as we were going through that presentation, were you able to write down any names of people that might need our help?
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned your brother, right? That was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, right? Who
Yeah.
else did you write down?
We have a really good family friend. Her name's Miss Valentina. My kids
Okay.
adore her.
Awesome, awesome. That's good. Who else?
I have this buddy, Isaac.
Isaac. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
he's my guy.
Who's like your out of those three? Like who's your like closest friend, or kind of would pick you up on the side of the highway if they needed to?
Oh man, out of my brother Isaac, or I think probably Valentina.
Valentina would. Okay, I've heard good things about Valentina. That's awesome. Hey Todd, I'm just curious. After you've heard all this, would you be open to having us just give her a quick call, just to see if she wants to sit down and learn more? And I'll take the lead. You don't have to say anything. You just have to say, "Here's Michael."
Yeah, like how do we call, like what do we
So all I want you to do is call Valentina and say, "Hey, Valentina, this is Todd. I'm excited. I just got my license with a financial company. I want to introduce you to Michael." So let's say it with me. "Hey, this is Todd.
Hey, this is Todd.
I just got my license
I just got my license,
with a financial company.
financial company.
I'm really excited about it.
I'm really excited about it.
And I want to introduce you to Michael."
I'm gonna introduce you to Michael.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay. Ring, 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 ring. I don't know if she's working.
Come off mute, Valentina.
Hi. Hi, Tom.
Hola, how's it going, Valentina?
Hola, so good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you. The girls say hey.
How are they doing? Tell them that I miss them.
They're doing good. I will.
And you're gonna have a birthday soon.
I know it. I know it coming up.
The
Valentina,
18th.
this is, I know it, right? This is random. So I'm super excited. I just got my financial license, and I wanted to introduce you to Michael.
Hey,
To Michael.
Valentina, how you doing?
Hi. Hi, Michael.
Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you or anything, but I was with Todd. He was super excited because he was just learning about all the things that we're doing right now. And I said, who would be the number one person that is the most important in your life and would pick you up on the side of the road in the middle of the night? And he said, Valentina. So the reason I'm here with Todd now is that we were just kind of game planning. And so part of his training, Valentina, is he needs to do 10 training appointments. There's nothing to buy, there's nothing to join or nothing to do. All right. But he just wants to share the information because he mentioned that you could be a good source of referrals down the road. So I want to, number one, help him with this training and give him confidence. But number two, you'll be so impressed that you probably will know people down the road that need his help. And I want him to be the go-to person in your circle. Number three is that I want you to have the confidence in the people that are helping him, like myself, that you know he's in good hands. Does that sound fair?
That sounds good.
Awesome. So when can we hop on a Zoom just really quick, like 15, 20 minutes? Because it's not as easy to say what we're doing. It's much easier to share it. And it just takes a few minutes to do that. Will we be able to hop on a Zoom in the next day or two?
Yeah, today, like around 2 in the morning, will be perfect.
2 in the morning's perfect. I'll be up. I'll be ready for you. I'll call you, Valentina. I'm going to send you a Zoom link, right? And be super excited to share what Todd's doing in his new career here. And I know you're going to be very impressed.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
I look forward to meeting you, Valentina. I've heard so many great things about you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, bye. Boom. Todd, do me a favor. Don't call Valentina. If she texts you, let me know what she says. I don't want you to respond to her because I want us to have the best foot forward for our first meeting. Okay? And in our first meeting, let me do the heavy lifting. I'll tell you how to do that. And she'll be very impressed with what we have, just like you are. Sound
Okay.
fair? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So Todd, as we wrap up here, the first thing is we want to help you get promoted. So good news, right? We can help you. We can help your family. That's part of that promotion. It's called 3 and 3, right? We do 3 applications and get 3 business partners. So guess what? Valentina might be one. You mentioned she's super ambitious. Listen, we're just going to share the information. If she likes it, great. If not, she might know somebody else that will. Okay. So we can knock that out. So once we get that 3 and 3 done, right, you get a pay raise of 25%. Todd, when's the last time the hospital gave you a 25% pay raise?
Never.
Never, right? Right. So we definitely want to help you get that done right away. Second is we wanted you to get fully licensed and appointed. Hopefully you're working with Fernanda to get that all knocked out. Don't miss those meetings. She's so busy, Todd, that if you miss the meeting you set this week, you might not get to sit down with her for 2 weeks. And I don't want that to happen because I want you to get paid when we help a family. But it's very, very important that you respect your time and you make sure that you're there. Okay. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Awesome. And we want to respect your time as well. Right. Next is that we want to complete 10 field training appointments. Now, I know that you mentioned your brother, Valentina, and Isaac, right? So just like we talked to Valentina, right? Either I can call them, you can call them, or we can do it together. We're always going to do it together, right? But I want to show you how to have that conversation on the phone so you can have the best results, right? And after you do those 10 training appointments, most of those people are going to want to do something or have a referral for you. Just like the positive experience with Valentina, we'll have a positive experience, right? And then we want you to make your first $1,000. With everything you have going with the kids and Maria, and you mentioned a couple other people, you should easily make your first $1,000 in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Okay. So once again, just meet me halfway, right? We're going to help you get there as fast as you can. We're also going to do the right thing for everybody you put us in front of. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Good. Awesome. Fire it up. All right. Here's a little homework. I'm going to send you a book, Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance. We're going to go through your top 25 whys, complete your financial review, which I mostly did already, guys. And then the first 3 people that need to hear about this, we already got those names. You guys see, we got the names. We got a result. Like if he's done calling Valentina, I might say, hey, let's try Isaac now, right? I'm just like testing the waters, right? But if we don't ask, we're not going to get it. Write that down. If I don't ask, I'm not going to get it. If I don't ask for the sale, I'm not going to get the sale. If I don't ask for the referral, I'm not going to get the referral. If I don't ask to talk to that person, I'm not going to talk to that person. All right. Now, I know we spent a lot of time before on the spreadsheet. It took me about an hour to do that, maybe a touch longer. I'm going to pause, open up any questions, anything you guys have. But what did you observe? What did you learn? What did you see you could improve on?
I think one of the things I can improve on is, and I've gotten better, but there's still work to do, is drawing. You're planting a lot more seeds through the entire presentation than I am. Who do you know? Who do you know? Like we always say that, and it's like, well, then I feel like the disconnect is like, I don't know, but you're drawing a very clear picture of, hey, who do you know that could benefit from that? Hey, who do you know that has kids right now? It's like, oh, click, click. So you're painting a more detailed picture for them, and they're going to be imagining people that they can talk to.
I told them to get a pen and paper and start writing down names, right?
Yep. And I was going to say, and then, hey, have a pen and paper so you can write them down. And then, hey, did you write them down? Great.
How did you feel after that was all done, guys? Like after that was all done, does that feel like, obviously there's all things we can improve on. I've been doing this for forever, right? No one's going to get this perfect the first time. This is something we're recording. You can go back and watch. Mark will get us the transcript, right? So you guys, but every slide, there's a problem and solution. Like here's the problem everybody has. We're the solution, right? Every slide I'm saying, talking about referrals, talking about field training, talking about, getting them their first paycheck, talking about helping their family, right? What else, guys, did you observe?
Yeah, I just like Todd said, I like how you tied it to everything, like their promotion, like, their next steps. Like, it wasn't just talking about the product. You tied it to how it could get them their promotion, about the bonus. So you kind of tied it to everything. So that was pretty good. I gotta add more of that to mine, but I like how you did that.
Thank you, Isaac.
Like the part, and you mentioned a few times that you need to meet me halfway.
Yep.
And I think that's very valuable to say, I help everything, but you also have to come this way. I'm not going to go all the way there.
Right. Do you guys see how in this slide here, I'm getting the financial review. Along the way, I'm asking them if they have these different things. Hey, do you have a 401k? Just curious, right? Hey, do you have this? Just curious. Hey, do you have living benefit? And then I get to this, and I already kind of know a little bit about it. So now it's not super awkward. Like, what do you got, man? Suzanne, maybe your mic wasn't picking up. I saw you talking there. Your mic's not picking you up there for some reason.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Actually, no, I cannot. Jen, Bambi, Jerry, Alex,
Yeah.
Mark, feedback, Annalise.
Yeah, I like the how you I pretty much like the flow and then the commitment part, like making them committed, you know. That's the one that I think I need to improve on when it comes to like, when I do the onboarding.
And yes, we still use the spreadsheet and the tracker. The Teva tracker is going to be amazing, by the way, guys. It's rolling out. I'll show you guys that at another time. Right? We still need their goals and dreams, and yes. But I'm kind of getting those as I'm talking to them, and I can even fill some of those out in their spreadsheet and come back to it. Does that make sense? And then I can spend more time into it because I really want them excited about what we do.
The way you walked through the 5 magic questions was really good. I'm not doing it as good of a job. I'm not a 7-figure earner. But that was a great walkthrough of how do you add flavor, right? We can call it to the 5 magic questions. Because if you just ask them, it's like meh, meh, meh. Again,
Right.
you're painting a picture as it's a conversation, not just bullet points. So that was really good.
Thank you. All right, so Mark, make sure we get the transcript and the recording. I have number 2 I'm going to do. Is everybody ready for me to get into onboarding 2?
Let me reset this so we can get them separate.
Please. Yes, thank you.
Give me one. All right, give me 1 second here.
Any feedback from you, Mark?
I thought it was wonderful. Everybody kind of